Welcome back to Ninjas in Nature, and today we're going to talk about cordage. Cordage is a term that means natural fibers that have been twisted into a rope or string. You'll find cordage used practically everywhere in nature survival skills. There are also a lot of ninjutsu skills that require knowing how to make a rope. Many plant fibers by themselves can be weak and will break. By weaving them together into cordage, you make them stronger. Let's check out what kind of materials work well for cordage. Believe it or not, a lot of material for cordage can be found right in your own backyard. But you're going to need to find plants with relatively long fibers. Short grass that's been cut won't work. What you need to do is a lot of your own experimenting. Find plants with long fibers, peel the fibers apart, and then test them to see how strong they are. You can use dried out fibers like these palm fronds, but if they're old and have been on the ground, they may be starting to rot and may not be very strong. Some fibers can be found in your own garden, like these corn husks that were used to make cordage. If you do some research, you may discover that your local area has some really good sources for cordage, like these very long tule. If the fibers that you have are really dried out, they may be very brittle and break when you try to twist them into cordage. What you're going to need to do then is to soak them in water. After you've soaked them, they should be softer and more flexible and less likely to break. Another good source of cordage are the barks and the inner barks of local trees, like this willow. Green branches are ideally better to use because they're easier to peel, like this one that you can peel with your fingers. Simply start on the end and peel the bark off. Before you know it, you'll have a handful of fibers that can be used to make cordage. Eventually, you'll find the perfect material to make cordage, hopefully from your backyard. Now it looks like we got Mr. Hand here who's going to help demonstrate how to make cordage. Cordage involves a specific way to twist the fibers together, but it looks like Mr. Hand is having a little problem right now. This is not working. Let's try that again. One technique for making cordage so that it doesn't unravel is called the reverse wrap. Looks like we got Mr. Hand and his cousin Lefty here who are going to demonstrate how to make reverse wrap. And it looks like they're going to use two martial arts belts to tie an overhand knot. It looks like they're just going to make a circle and then tuck the ends through to make the knot. And it looks like for demonstration purposes, they're going to secure the end of the knot through this wooden chair. When you're actually making cordage, you can hold the knotted end with your teeth or with your hands. Now it looks like they're ready to start reverse wrapping. In the reverse wrap, one hand is always going to be the hand that twists. The other hand is the flipping hand. The secret to reverse wrap is that the twisting hand turns one direction, in this case, counterclockwise. Then the other hand flips the other end over clockwise, and you switch your grips. And here we go. The right hand twists counterclockwise, the left hand flips clockwise. And they switch grips. And once again, the right hand twists counterclockwise, and then the left hand flips clockwise. And that's it. That's reverse wrapping. Just keep doing it over and over and over. When you're done, you can tell if you did it the right way by letting go of the loose ends and seeing if it still holds tight. If it unravels, that means you were twisting probably the wrong way. Let's see how reverse wrap works using natural fibers. This time you take your bundle of fibers and split them into two groups. You can make your cordage as thin or thick as you like, so you decide how many fibers to use. There's the overhand knot. Let's look at another technique for starting that doesn't use a knot. Simply find the middle of your bundle, fold it over, and start twisting one side. Once again, one hand is the twister and one hand is the flipper. Make sure you're twisting and flipping in opposite directions. If you're running out of material for your cordage, simply lay new fibers on top of the old ones and twist them in, and continue making reverse wrap. You can finish your cordage the same way you started, with an overhand knot. There's an old saying, one person's trash is another person's treasure. We can make cordage from a plastic bag just like this. It looks like Mr. Hand is first cutting some strips out of the plastic bag. Now it seems he's stretching the strips. Don't worry if it breaks, that's normal. Just keep experimenting till you get it stretched out. Now it looks like he's making a second strip that he's stretching. It looks like he's folding it over with one end longer than the other. That's important for splicing in new pieces. From there, he's just going to do a reverse wrap. This makes a nice thin piece of cordage that's pretty strong. Okay, ninjas, now it's your turn to make some cordage with things you can find in nature.